Hold on.
There we go.
Hey, Wyoming, how you doing, brother? How's everything going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Tired. I'm tired. I've been tired since last week. It's been a
What have you been
crazy
doing since last week?
Well, I had a couple of shows trying to get ready for the next issue. We had a couple of shoots. Some people canceled. I go to cover an event and they have this goddamn fucking music playing, and I'm so pissed off because what these organizers don't understand is when we are there recording and we upload that shit to YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, we get hit with copyrighted music,
Do you tell them that? Do you suggest? If you turn the music off, then all of these YouTubers can give you more coverage for your event because
they
your
don't
video won't get pulled off of YouTube.
they don't understand, and it just fucking pisses me off. I mean, it's loud. It's a norm now. Like every car show, there's a DJ. Okay.
Yeah, well, I hate that because 99% of the time I don't like the music anyway.
Exactly. And I talk to all these people, right? I mean, the average age of a classic car guy is over 65,
Yeah,
and they're like, "Mark, we hate this shit," and I'm like, "God damn, I'm not the only one." So, sometimes I tell the organizer, I said, "Hey, you know what, guys, can you turn it down for a little bit? So at least let me get some recording, and then play that same shit, from 90 years ago." So some do, some don't. The last one I did, I don't even want to say the name. So I'm there like fucking 9 o'clock in the morning, right?
yeah.
And I asked this person, I said, "Hey, it's freaking 9 o'clock in the morning. Let me get some filming done, and oh no. I love my music." I said, "Okay, bud." So I did a quick round, a couple of minutes, and I got the fuck out of there.
Well, I mean, I think about the times I've had disagreements with people, like in business usually,
Yeah,
and I always work in the phrase, "I'm trying to do you a favor."
exactly.
You
Exactly.
know, why
And
are you giving me grief?
interject time over here. I just want to say that 99% of the time, these car shows, they don't have somebody, or they don't have a video of the event. So they actually have
Yeah.
absolutely no footage. Thank God for all these, these car guys
Mhm.
that go and take, hundreds of pictures, and they put that stuff up so we can share it and whatever, but there's no video. I go to a car show. I want to listen to the car. I want to listen to the rumble. I want to
Yeah.
listen to the engine. I want
Yeah.
to, I want to, a little burnout here, whatever. But I do not want to sit there in the morning, fucking 10 o'clock in the morning, listening to goddamn Chuck Berry.
Well, you know what's even worse.
It's played out, man. It's played out.
You know what's even worse. Being an airplane guy, I've been to a lot of air shows during my life. And a few decades ago, you'd go out and you'd see the Blue Angels. I remember watching the Blue Angels at Point Mugu in Southern California. And then, lately, like the last 10 years or so, 15 years, even the Blue Angels are playing freaking background music to their show.
Exactly.
You got the announcer,
Right.
Blue Angel 7. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you look to the southeast, you'll see the diamond formation,
Yeah.
the double farvel. And now it's like, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Exactly. The last time I was at the Chicago Air and Water
it's
Show.
like, let me just finish this thought.
Yeah.
Motion picture directors and studios, they hire composers to score movies and television shows,
Right.
because the action on the screen needs it. Okay,
Exactly.
it needs a little pump, right?
Exactly.
When you got the fucking Blue Angels flying live in front of you, you don't need any extra.
Right.
What are you going to add to it?
Right. No, I'll tell you how stupid it is.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how stupid it is. So, a couple of years ago, I go. I hate doing this shit, but my friend, he lives off what is that fucking building right off Navy Pier. On the 35th floor. He goes, Mark, I've got the best balcony over here, bud. I want you to come and spend the time and this and that. So I go there,
You're not talking about the two condo buildings on the river. You're talking about.
Yeah. Riverfront. So,
you're talking about the two buildings that look like corn cobs?
Larry, I don't want to give out the address and the location.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to give an exact location.
Okay.
Anyway, there. I'm like, wow, this is really good. I can see the sky, see the clouds.
Yeah.
I can see the girls in bikinis down there. I see some helicopters going. I see some people jumping off planes and shit. And all of a sudden, you know what I hear?
Music.
Fucking soundtrack for Top Gun.
Yeah.
Here I am recording. I mean, I'm doing a hell of a job. We're doing a Facebook Live there.
Yeah.
Here comes this, some overzealous DJ thought that it would be nice to play Top Gun music over there.
Yeah.
And guess what happens? 5 minutes into the live stream got shut down because we detected copyrighted music.
Yeah.
So I got to tell these goddamn organizers, guys, do not play music early in the morning, and let the the YouTubers or the people doing video, let them do their video, man. You'll get more content out of that. You can take that content, reuse it, make a promo of your event for next year, and some of these car shows, it's all about the money, man. It's just a money game. I realize some of the recent car shows that I've been to, it's a money game. You got.
Are you saying? Okay, I can understand it being a money game. It's always a money game. Are you saying that? Are you suggesting that the people who are putting on the car shows really aren't car guys?
No, you know what? I don't want to say if they're car guys or not, but some of these sons of bitches are not car guys.
Okay,
they're not fucking car. Just because you go and attend a car show does not make you a car guy. Okay.
No kidding.
Okay. Just because you go and attend a car show, you attend a couple of car shows, you meet a couple of people, does not make you a car guy. All right. So you get
Absolutely.
a parking lot, you put a pisser in the corner, and you get, 5, 6, 700 cars, whatever the amount is, Oh, please, oh my God, I'm so. And then on top of that, you know what they got?
What do they got?
Fucking music, fucking music, fucking music. So I told my staff, I told everybody, hey, you know what? Going forward, I am not promoting. I am not covering. We are not going to do that. I am sick and fucking tired. They can keep their goddamn DJ. They can keep their goddamn music and they can play their own shit. Because there's
Hey,
no.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Um, how long has it been since you've been to SEMA?
6 years.
Yeah, it's been longer than that for me. And
2018, 18, 19.
I don't remember. What do they do at SEMA? Because I don't remember hearing music at SEMA. And the other thing is, you have a lot of people recording at SEMA. I mean,
Yeah,
everything from television news.
Right. Exactly.
So the people who put on SEMA are hip to the music problem.
Right. Well, they did that, and I gotta say it. Oh my God! You know what? So the last shows we did, and I'm gonna give a shout out here. I am gonna give a shout out here to both the Chicago World of Wheels, and I'm gonna give a shout out to my buddy Bob at the Muscle Car and Corvette National. Right. So when we're at these shows, right? These are huge shows, man.
Yeah.
So I go there and somebody was playing the music and I'm like, what the fuck? Here I am. I got all this goddamn camera gear. I'm sitting on a little scooter, right? I'm driving around. I want to film. I want to get as much coverage as I can, right? So I go and I tell them, I said, hey guys, can you is it possible if you can turn down the music or something so we can get coverage and the footage? Now this is for both of them.
Yeah.
These guys, they are so at first they didn't understand why I needed that, right? And then they are like when they understood, they're like, you know what? Mark, you are absolutely right. We don't need we need the videos. We need footage of the goddamn event. So in both events, they they said, fuck this. They just turned the music off.
Yeah.
And I drove on my little scooter. Some of my friends, they know what I do with these car shows. Not at all the car shows, but at the big ones. I sit on my little scooter and I'm filming, man. I'm filming every aisle, every vendor, every car. I go around like 5, 6 times, and you can see the videos in the archives.
Yeah.
We got hours and hours and hours of footage of the cars, the people, the hustle, the bustle, and that's what it's all about. It's not about fucking music, man.
Yeah.
It is not about fucking music, and I think these YouTubers out here, God bless them all, they'll understand where I'm coming from. They will understand where the hell I'm coming from. I see a lot of guys at these morning car shows, they're there. They want to get some great footage. They want to get some reels. They want to, they want to get some shorts. They want to do some shit. But guess what happens? They're like, oh, fuck, here we go with the goddamn music again.
Yeah.
And it's the same shit. It's the same shit from the 60s. And well, it's usually the 60s, Oh my God. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, well,
play your music. I say, play your goddamn music. Let the people get some coverage of your fucking event, and then play the goddamn music.
Part of the problem is these promoters, they try to appeal to a wider audience.
Yeah.
Like typically, you have your car guys,
right,
and then you have their girlfriends,
right,
which most of the time. Okay, I'll come with you, but you got to take me out to the movies tomorrow or whatever. We got to go out on a date night. So you got girlfriends and wives who don't want to be there, and maybe they bring the kids along because they can't leave them at home. So they think the music will entertain these other people. But then you got to take a look. See, there's no point in reinventing the wheel if people have already invented it.
Right.
And here's a good example. You go to Barrett Jackson in Arizona. You go to Mecum, right? They have separate midways
Right,
of designer jewelry for women and toys for kids.
right, right,
It's not next to the goddamn auction.
right.
It's not next to the place where they have the auctions.
Yeah,
It's separate. When you try and mix everything together and make something that is
right,
uh, attractive to everybody, it never works.
right, right,
You can't go after the humanity as a demographic. It
right.
doesn't work.
Hey, Larry, Larry,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanna play some music because some people may not understand what we're saying. So what I'll do is I'll play something so they can have an idea why the fuck we as creators get pissed off when we hear music. Okay, this is a perfect example. When you go to a car show, let me get this, brother. Let me do this, brother. Let me do this. All right. So here we go. I don't know if you can hear it. Let me know if you hear the sound. All right.
Yeah, as soon as it starts playing.
Yeah. As soon as it starts buffering, the bufferization. Here we go.
Yeah, I can hear it.
See that?
Yeah, you want to hear that radical cam? No music.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. See how beautiful that is?
Yep.
Look at that. Look at that. Wow. That's what we want to hear in the morning, man. That is why people go to the car shows. They want to see the cars, okay? They want to see the cars. They want to see, they want to enjoy the cars. They want to listen to the rumble. They want to listen to the engine. They're not there to listen to your goddamn music.
You know what?
And
If I if
I,
if when I go out for a drive, and I don't mean like driving to an appointment in Cheyenne, 400 miles away. I'm
right.
talking about going out for a drive on Saturday morning with
Saturday
my
night.
radar detector on, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I never turn my radio on. I never turn my
Okay.
music on.
I just got to interject something. All right, hold
Yeah.
on.
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, when I'm driving fast, number
Yeah.
one, I want to hear my engine. I want to hear my transmission in case something lets loose. And number two, I want to hear my radar detector when it goes off. Okay.
Right.
And the funny thing is, like if I'm cruising and I set the cruise control on, and I'm driving 400 miles, yeah, I'll turn the radio or the stereo on. But I typically don't listen to music when I drive.
Right.
I got a what is it? Gosh, I forget the brand now. I've got a catback, exhaust, stainless steel exhaust on this on the car, and it's louder than stock, and I like it, so I like to listen to it. And, you know what always makes me suspicious? "Quote unquote" car guys who have like $18,000 worth of stereo in their car.
Yeah. Well, now hold on a second. Hold on a second. I again, that's a different genre. That is a different style. Now there's one show, and I love these guys. All right, I love them, love them, love them. They're my dearest of friends. The Chicago Lowrider Show.
Oh no, I'm not, no. Let me be clear.
Hold on, Commander.
Well, okay.
Hold on. Let me just say. So we were at the show there. Beautiful show. We gave out tons of magazines. We did some pictures and stuff. Guess how much video I got in 2 days?
Zero.
Zero. It was zero video. Well, we got some video when they were pulling in, but I had to edit the living shit out of, excuse my language, I had to edit the living shit out of the video because every second car, they had their stereo on full blast. They were like 5,000 watt
Yeah.
super bass. The whole the whole Rosemont Convention Center. I mean, you could see the pillars were shaking.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, these guys don't understand it naturally. I don't want to.
I want to clarify something. When I said car guys with $18,000 worth of stereo, I wasn't talking about lowriders. Lowriders it's a whole culture thing, and
Right.
cars, and you got when they do the get-togethers on the weekends, the whole family comes out and
I love it. I love it.
and they got the music. Okay, I understand that. I'm talking about guys who have, say, a 2007 Mustang Shelby GT500,
Right.
and has got $18,000 worth of stereo in there.
Right.
Cars that are supposed to be driven fast.
Yeah.
I don't understand getting the optional stereo for a new Lamborghini.
Right.
Okay? Yeah, you could. Yeah, if you got that, the only thing it tells me about you is that you're driving around in first gear.
Yeah.
At 22 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So it's not my kind of thing.
Some people like that. Some people don't. Me, on the other hand, I took out my baby this morning, and I usually don't listen to music in my van, but when I'm in my little car, I've got 80s hits blasted. Madonna, Depeche Mode. I got that shit blaring, man, because I'm enjoying life. God damn it.
You know what I do? I told you what I did. I ripped the. I've got a a Blu-ray of Bullet, the movie Bullet.
Right.
And Lalo Schifrin did the music, and the same guy who did the theme for Mission Impossible, the original one. And and if you remember the 10-minute or so chase scene, where Steve McQueen is coming out of I think he was coming out of the grocery store or something. He's walking to his car, and he sees the black Charger on the other side of the street.
Right.
And then he's following, and then the Charger's following him.
Mm-hmm.
There's no music during the chase scene itself. All the music is before the chase scene.
Right.
And it's just da 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 da. So what I did was I took that music and I looped it into like 15 minutes. And sometimes I play that when I'm driving around, to get me in the mood to drive fast.
Right.
But like I said, I don't typically play music when I'm driving. Or I'll just put this: I never play music when I'm driving fast.
Oh, I stay away. I stay away from music also, but especially when I'm in my little car.
Yeah, you want to be on a curve, on the Chief Joseph Scenic Highway or the on a mountain road up here, and you want to hear your front tires letting go. You want to hear them starting to squeal a little bit as they lose traction. You don't want to be listening to some thumping beat, as you go sailing off the edge of the road. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, city driving is different. I mean, city driving, we love music, but my it's not even a beef, man. It's in these days people fucking get offended. They get their panties in a twist. It's my personal opinion. In my humble opinion, I just don't like music because I'm there on my dime. You're not even fucking paying me to come there, okay? I'm giving you free goddamn publicity. We're promoting the goddamn event. We come there, do the filming. We can't do the filming because you got fucking Chuck Berry playing in the background, and that pisses me the fuck off,
Hey, so let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Can you, if you're working on something, and I know your attention span isn't that long, but if you're working on something, if you're putting your magazine together on your Chromebook,
right?
Can you listen? Can you have music playing in the background?
Fuck no.
I can't either.
There's no music playing in the. Hold on. Now don't try to shove this up my ass saying Chromebook. God damn it! It's the
Oh,
first.
no. No. In fact, I'm probably going to put Chrome OS on my two old laptops.
And here's the thing. It doesn't matter if I'm using Chrome or actually for the magazine I'm using my MacBook.
Yeah. Well, again, but my point was.
Hold on, General. Hold your butt. The software that compiles and edits and puts the magazine together, it's not even installed on the computer.
It's on somebody else's
cloud. It's in the cloud. And when the weather is bad, and there's thunder and lightning,
and your connection is shit. Yeah.
Yeah, the issues are kind of messed up. But overall, I think it's it's all.
But my question was, can you?
Yes, sir.
If I have to concentrate on something, I can't be listening to music in the background.
I cannot be listening to music.
And the other thing is, you know what I can't figure out is when you see people like in a gym.
Yeah.
They're on a elliptical machine or a treadmill.
Yeah.
Or even a stationary bicycle.
Yeah.
And they got their earbuds in and they're listening to music.
I know.
I'm into music. I play the trombone. I've had my own big bands.
Right.
So what I can't do is if I get on my exercise bike and I turn music on,
right.
The tempo of the music has to be the same as the tempo of me.
Right.
If my feet are going like this, I can't be listening to a fast, and even if it's a little off, either it's on the beat or it isn't. So I can't listen to music if I'm exercising, and I don't understand people who can.
Right.
Because it's like what you don't even know you're completely how can you be two different tempos? It doesn't make any sense to me. But
I don't know.
That's me. What do I know? I'm a moron.
Just crazy. So you want to talk cameras, huh? You want to talk cameras, brother? You talking to me, man? What you want to talk about, bro?
Well, you sent me a camera, so I figured you know about cameras.
Oh, I know a lot about cameras. Guess how I started with photography.
Okay, well, first of all, let me ask you: is this long enough to be before digital?
Whoa, way before digital. I mean, my love for photography started back in the year of our Lord, 1988.
That was like last week for me.
It was last week for you, 1988. I got into modeling. I know people are probably dropping food. They're dropping their drinks.
Hey, you showed me pictures of your billboards from back then.
Hold on. Don't let the cat out of the bag here.
Okay.
But so I got into modeling at the time where there was no Instagram. There was there was absolutely no social media. Internet did not.
I wish those days were back.
I wish those days were back. So what I had to do was the way this modeling thing got started. We go to a professional photographer, and you get your headshots done, and you get your 8x10s, your 5x7s, and your 4x6s, or the 3x15s, the comp cards made, and then we used to go from agency to agency, and we used to
get rejected. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to kiss ass. I mean, you got to network, you got to meet the right people, you got to get your foot in the door. It's not like today. You take. These guys and these girls, they take 17,000 pictures, and they got all these apps that make them look like, whatever. Yeah. Oh no, it was tough. So anyway, forget about the modeling. So when I was in the when we were in the studio, I would see these photographers with their big lights and their big studios and the backdrops and the smell of the muslin and the camera lights. And you got to understand, we're talking late 80s, beginning of 90s. You know the smell of the halogen bulbs?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. For me, that was crazy, but for me, I love
Oh,
that.
well, back then,
Yeah.
and these halogen lights are a lot hotter than LEDs.
You could feel the
Oh
heat
yeah, you walk in the studio and it's like
from all
20
over.
degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's how I got intrigued by that. I did modeling for I think about a good professionally. I did modeling for about a year and a half, and then I joined a radio station. And I was never good in studies, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, so I got into all the other shit. But and then finally I ended up with CNN.
Oh,
But
that's right. Yeah, you were a on the scene reporter for them, weren't you?
yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. Yeah, you can't really make this shit up. Yeah, and that was in Saudi Arabia. I used to work with a television station back there, and they needed somebody that could speak English. At that time, there were only two channels in Saudi Arabia. All
Mhm.
right. So it was not just me, it was other people too, you know. So
Yeah.
I started reporting for them, just local events, going on. And and then when I was in Europe, when I was in Greece, Cyprus, Italy, that's when I took up photography. And Nikon was my favorite camera, and it was all film at that time. It was all film, Kodak, Ektachrome. That was it, baby.
Yeah.
And then I started shooting models. So I jumped from being a model to shooting models. And even when we came to stateside, I had a very successful. Hey, Pasta, how you doing, brother? We got to put you up on there. What's up, my brother? So stateside, I had a very successful, magazine over here that I did primarily. I did all the photography in that.
Mhm.
Nikons were my favorite still cameras. I don't know why I'm using the word still. Back in the 90s, it was either Nikon, Canon, Yashica, what was that other one?
Leica.
Minolta, Leica, used a lot of Leicas, the Rollies, and Hasselblads. We used a lot of Hasselblads. We used a lot of, I don't know, there was a camera brand called Yashica.
Sure.
Oh my God. I mean, oh man, most of these companies either got bought out or got swallowed and, merged with others.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Nikon was always my favorite. Then I jumped into Canon, and then, here comes the internet and, the YouTubes
Mhm.
and the advent of the digital camera. And yeah, and the world was over. Civilization, we advanced ourselves in technology, but in humanity we went back, I say, 5 decades.
You know what? You're probably about right on that
Yeah,
calculation.
yeah, I don't know, I'm
You
quoting
just,
somebody. I
you
can't, I
just,
can't think of somebody, that person that I'm quoting, but yeah,
you think about it.
right,
Before cell phones,
right.
I knew 200, 300 phone numbers. I had them memorized.
I believe you.
I don't. I
I
can't even remember the phone number of the camera that I'm on right now.
I
My
believe you.
second line. I gotta look it up once in a while.
I believe you, brother.
You make things too easy.
Yeah. So the other day, I had to call my mom, right?
Yeah.
I I was at my cousin's house. I had to call I didn't have my phone. Do you know I did not know my mom's phone number?
Oh yeah.
Because in my phone, when she called me from her phone and I got the number, I put it as mom.
Yeah.
That's it. It was
Yeah.
mom. Oh my God. So now I'm doing like the old days. I made a little diary here,
Mhm.
It's a
Hey,
little diary here.
when I was a junior in high school,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what hit the market? the end of society.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
When I was a junior in high school, that was 1975. Okay? A little device called the Bomar brain came on the scene. You want to look that up?
Spell it.
BOMAR brain.
Bomar brain. BOMARBRAIN. Bomar brain.
Pull that up for our minuscule audience.
Our minuscule audience. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, Bomar, the personal calculator, right?
This was the first commercially viable calculator.
Yeah. That's right.
That was $100.
Yeah. Well,
It was four function. Okay, and soon after that, I couldn't do math in my head, and neither did anybody else in my class.
Right.
Okay, and like the only calculators that are out before this were like Hewlett Packard came out with a couple of scientific calculators like the HP 35, but this was, and I was like the first or second guy in my Catholic high school class to have a calculator, and the teachers were trying to figure out if they should let me use it or not.
Yeah.
Hey, Pasta says he was a Yashika guy.
That tells me that Pasta's a man of class and clout.
You talk about problems with music and you're trying to get business done. Well, film, okay, you're talking about using cameras for business,
right?
Shooting models or whatever,
right?
Well, my dad bought me a Kodak Brownie camera back in the, I don't know, 61 or something like that. I was like 4 years old. And I remember, I think the first place we went to take photos, we went to O'Hare. And back then, you could actually take the stairs and climb up on the roof of the terminals. Right. And you had a great view of the tarmac. And I took some shots of early 707s.
707.
And I still have the prints. But after that, I got a real estate license when I was I got a broker's license when I was a freshman in college, and I realized, God, these brokers, they take lousy photos.
Right.
And then later I was doing commercial real estate. What? You get a listing for a 100-unit apartment building that's worth millions of dollars, and you spend 2 minutes photographing it. Right. So I started. I remember I was at Marcus and Millichap, which is still the largest commercial real estate firm in the country. It's a company that sells. They didn't do leases, right? And so you got a new listing, you have to put on a slideshow presentation for the other brokers.
Right.
And
did you use a Kodak carousel for that?
Yeah, exactly. So I get my first listing at the company. It was a 76-unit apartment building in Hawthorne, California. And I'm showing it to the guys. And go, oh, yeah, cool. And somebody says, that building isn't in Hawthorne. And it was in a crappy section of Hawthorne. Oh, yeah, it is. I gave them the address. I still remember. It's 13515 Doty Avenue. Anyway, and I said, and the other brokers and the manager couldn't figure it out. Because if you stop and think about it, you take a look at an apartment building in the most expensive suburb of Chicago versus an iffy suburb, the building is the same. What makes it different is what's around it, okay?
Exactly.
So in a bad neighborhood, I went down, I got the listing signed up, and then I was in front of the building, okay, the sun comes up over here in the morning, it sets over here, so I don't want to have the sun behind me, so I'm going to shoot the building in the morning. And then I looked at the street signs, and it said no parking on Tuesdays between 8 and 10 for street sweeping.
Right.
The only difference, everybody thought this apartment building was Beverly Hills because it didn't have any crappy cars in front of it.
Right.
So I took photos of this building when the streets were clear for street sweeping.
Mm.
Had I taken photos an hour later, you're seeing all these junky cars. Oh yeah, that's junky Hawthorne, So that's how I got into photography. And you talk about film, okay? So I'm shooting film, And then I get a listing for an apartment building in San Diego. It's like 140 miles away, right?
Mhm.
So I go down there and I shoot the building, and I come back home, process the film, and something I forgot what went wrong, but the photos were all bad.
Right.
So I drive all the way back to San Diego, right?
Right.
But this time I thought, okay, I got there earlier in the day, took the photos, and then I went to Costco. They had Costco's back then, and they had 1 hour development at Costco.
Mhm.
So I drive like 5 miles from the building, get the film developed at Costco. Oh, the prints are good. Okay, now I'm going home. So when digital came out, that was a big change, business wise, because you could take a photo and then you could look at it on the back of the camera and at least make sure you got it
Right.
before you left the scene.
Yeah.
And the waiting for the development and the extra cost for the everything was that was all gone.
Right.
But so yeah, I got into photography by shooting real estate.
Yeah, cameras and photography have come a long way, man. Long way.
But have they or haven't they?
I kind of get it up on. Huh? I don't do I don't do as much photography. Now for the magazine, for my magazine, I do my own photography. I edit my own pictures, except for one beautiful person that 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 wonderful person likes to edit their own picture and their own photograph. So I allow them because they're very dear friends of ours. But yeah, I mean, I still in my case, I still shoot manual, and I absolutely myself, not anybody else, just me. I don't like to sit there for 2.5 hours editing shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to take the picture right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And if because when we're shooting for a magazine, it's totally different. All right, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not shooting for glossy. I'm shooting for newsprint.
Well, you can tell the difference between. I sent you photos that you put in the magazine. You take a look at my photos versus yours. Yours are the journalistic.
And you're of course you're sending me perfection, which those pictures are absolutely fantastic.
But you bring up a very good point. There's different styles of photography.
Exactly.
If you're out at a car show,
right,
you're shooting, as is, where is, and as it happens,
right.
And it's even different. Like I took a lot of photographs out at Willow Springs International Raceway,
right,
and I was out there years ago with my Nikon D100.
Right.
If you tell somebody today that you took pictures of racing cars on the track, and you took pictures of airplanes at air shows with a D100, they'll tell you you're lying. Because a 6 megapixel camera and 3 frames per second, maybe.
Right.
And but see, the thing is with older cameras like that D100, that's 6 megapixels. It's 3008 pixels by 2000.
Right.
Okay. So I'm looking at I guess a 2560 by 1440 computer monitor. Okay. So if I want to display my 6 megapixel photos on this screen, okay, I'm not cropping. I don't have any room to crop. If you take a photograph, camera's 45 megapixels, like a Nikon D850 or one of your Sonys with 61 megapixels.
Right.
If you have to, you can crop. So what I've noticed was 25 years ago, 30 years ago,
right,
I was really careful about what the hell I was framing.
Right.
Because I didn't have any pixels to lose.
Mm.
And now when I got more pixels, I'm getting more and more lazy. Well, I'll just crop it later. No, you do it. It's part of what you said. You got to get it right the first time.
Right.
get as much correct as you can before you punch the shutter. But I don't think the technology. I think the only place where technology has really gone forward with digital cameras is frames per second and autofocus.
Right.
Today's cameras, they're a lot better. Locking in autofocus real quick.
Yeah.
And they can. I'm reading about stuff. We got digital cameras now that you take 120, not raw, but 120 full-size JPEGs per second.
Hey, Larry, can I be excused for a minute, please? I gotta go. Pay respects to somebody. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Pee. I gotta go take a pee. All right.
Gee, that's too much information.
Hold on.
Yeah. All right, Pasta. Yeah, it's the index rings on the older Nikon lenses. I've got a D100, a D200, a D90, and a D7500. And I think they're still making the D7500. And one of the things all those cameras have in common, and you have to understand, I went from the D100 circa 2002 to a D7500 with nothing in between. Later, I filled in the gaps by buying a D200 and a D90 just for fun. I got those from MPB, the company that does the used cameras. But I made sure that they all had motor drives for lenses, because back in the older days, the lenses didn't have the motors in them for the focus motors. The focus motor was in the camera. So all of my digital single lens reflex cameras can use the Nikon lenses going back to I can use the ones with the index rings, but I won't have autofocus, I think. And but I made the mistake. A friend of mine gave me a Nikon lens from the 50s, and it had the same F mount, but and sure enough, I was able to put it on my D100, but then the shutter wouldn't click. And when I took it off, it was a little iffy taking the lens off. And I looked at the camera, and I had bent this little tab inside the mount, and I was able to push it back, and everything works fine. But yeah, I like having my cameras being able to use lenses that go back, or as many lenses as possible.
I hear you. Hey, listen, Larry, I got to give a shout out to somebody. You'll love this. So our friends over at the Gold Rush Rally.
At the which rally?
The Gold Rush Rally.
Okay.
So they started Beverly Hills to Chicago, May 30th to June 6th or June 8th, I think. I can barely see that because I'm freaking half blind.
Well, what are they doing? Walking? Pushing? They're pushing their cars.
No, they're going to be driving exotic cars. They're going to start off from Beverly Hills,
Right.
Beverly Hills to Vegas, Vegas to Park City. I think that's Utah, right? Park City, Utah.
Yeah, well, that's going the opposite direction. That's going north.
Yeah, to Vail
And west.
to Denver.
Yeah.
From Denver, Colorado.
Uh-huh.
That's going to be the second half. They're going to Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's Kansas City, Kansas. Then St. Louis, MO, Missouri.
Yeah.
And back to Chi-Town, baby, Chicago.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll find out where in Chicago they're going to be at.
Don't
So,
worry, they'll have music playing when you get there.
well, yeah, but there's some guys I want to meet. My friends Damon and Dave from
Yeah,
DDE, Daily Driven Exotics.
yeah.
If you guys are not following DDE and you love cars and there's something wrong with you,
Mhm.
you gotta follow Daily Driven Exotics. They got a video every day, all day, every day.
You know, one time years ago, probably about a year after I moved here, I'm driving through downtown Cody in the evening,
Mm.
and I stopped at a light. And what pulls up next to me?
Yeah.
A 1920 Rolls Royce.
Oh wow.
And I'm looking at this thing, and I think I'm seeing a mirage, right?
Right.
And then I go another couple blocks, hit another light, and here's a different Rolls Royce. This time it's like a 1918 something, you know? And so I head home, and I see a bunch of Rolls Royces parked in the lot of one of the motels. So I go inside, and there are a bunch of people in the lobby, and it was the Rolls Royce Owners Club of America.
Mm.
And I'll tell you, you know, along with the Bentley Owners Club, these are clubs. They drive their damn cars, and
Right.
they were in the middle of a 1,000-mile tour, and after they left Cody, they went to Yellowstone, and one of the Rolls Royces fell off the road at Sullivan Pass, and went down the cliff about 1,500 feet. The owners had to get airlifted to a hospital, but
Shit.
it was really impressive to see. I thought I was seeing things. I mean, you're out in the middle of Cody, Wyoming, and you're like, there's an early 20s Rolls Royce, and this one's in the teens,
Right.
and I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
Not because of that, but and
I don't drink at all.
Yeah.
I am not a drinker. I do not drink.
I drank when I was younger. When I moved out here, I thought there's
Yeah.
no point in drinking anymore. But anyway, it's gosh, what was I saying? But anyway,
Drink.
Pasta says he's at work, but if he wasn't at work, he'd jump on.
Yeah.
Also says
Pasta is also.
I grew up with Kodachrome and Ektachrome slide film. I miss Kodachrome so much. Yep.
Yeah, man.
But it's one of the so Mark, when you started playing around with digital cameras, did you start playing around with the early ones, or did you come in later?
No, I started playing around with digital cameras as they were coming because I was still in the media business on the state side. I do remember there used to be a little paper long time ago in the Southland, and I went to Service Merchandise,
Okay.
and I bought a Nikon Coolpix 9000.
9,000.
Yeah.
I had a 950.
Nikon Coolpix 9000.
Well,
So
describe it, because
here,
you're going to describe a 900.
Yeah.
They had a 900 and a 950,
Cool.
and it was two parts, and it twisted.
Yeah,
right?
that's the one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, you got the number wrong. You put an extra zero on it.
yeah. It was the
And you used
Yeah.
4 AA batteries.
one. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and the images were either JPEGs or TIFFs. They
Yeah.
were 1,600 pixels by 1,000.
Yep. That was my first camera.
That was my first digital camera.
And that was my first digital camera, and then I jumped onto the Sony Mavicas. Sony Mavica, Sony gave us cameras, and here's the thing, in that
The Mavicas were the one that recorded on a disc, on a floppy disk.
on a floppy
3.5 inch,
disk, on a floppy disk, exactly. So that was also one of my favorite cameras. Well, at that time, it was really cool.
Yeah, I went from a 950 to a Minolta Dimage D7.
Right.
And And you know what? That camera had an electronic viewfinder, just like the mirrorless cameras today.
Yes, it did. Yes, it
And,
did.
and I took photographs of air shows, helicopter shows, all kinds of stuff with that camera.
Yeah.
That was five megapixel, and then I went to the D100, the Nikon DSLR.
Yeah. No,
That was like the first affordable.
I was using at that time. I was being sponsored by Nikon, so I had a lot of Nikon D70, D70Ss, D90s, D80s, and then I was at a professional event where I was looking at a Canon camera.
Yeah.
So somebody took a picture of me. I have all my Nikon gear, and I'm holding a Canon.
And that's when you stop being a Nikon ambassador, right?
Well, yeah, Nikon got a hold of me.
Yeah.
I think by the time I got home, but by the end of the week, I was let go.
Yeah.
So
I lived real close to the Nikon service center. They have a service center in Torrance, and all the camera companies do this. But fortunately, I've only had to have a camera service twice.
Right.
But kind of interesting how if you're a pro, no waiting, step right over here. You're an amateur, come back next week. Fuck you.
Yeah,
and Canon does it, and Nikon does it.
Canon was the best.
Does it too.
I love my Canon. Canon was the best. They were so good to me. They were so good to me. There was another company, Photodiox. They were really good. There was another company out from California. Fuck me dead. Lee Wang camera system, something like that. And they didn't sell cameras, but they sold all the accessories.
Oh.
They sold all the filters for the flashes. They sold all the flash guns, aftermarket flash guns. I mean, before Amazon, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So they were like the coolest place. You had to be like a part of that group. Back
then, a lot of things were cooler. I remember going to camera stores.
Fuck, everything was cool.
I bought my D100 from a camera store in Torrance, California. You go there and you actually pick it up and try it out.
Right.
I remember going out on a sidewalk and taking a few pictures and of the cars in the street and coming back inside the store and trying out different lenses.
Yeah, the world was a cool place because I'll tell you, and this ain't funny. If I was covering an event and I had some time, guess where I'd try to go? Radio Shack. There was a store called Radio Shack. Oh my God, that place.
When I moved to Cody in 2005, we had 2 Radio Shacks in Cody, population 8,000.
We had a bunch of them out in the Southland, and I would try to go in there and just look around all the little little trinkets and the electronic gizmos. And there was a company called Nady. I don't know if you know about Nady, Nady.
It sounds real familiar. What did they make?
Well, I'll tell you what it is. So Nady used to make aftermarket speaker system, wireless microphone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So if you were not rich and you did not have money and you couldn't go to Guitar Center and buy Shure microphones or AKG microphones, you would settle for Nady. Nady. So Radio Shack would carry a lot of Nady stuff, but it was under the Radio Shack brand,
Right.
They would have ham radios, shortwave radios, all that. It was really cool, man. Yeah. There was another store called the Sharper Image.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
that was kind of more like the Sharper Image had a lot of stuff that was like brand new, but not thoroughly vetted yet. You know what I mean? They had the latest technology.
Yes,
but it was just before it became prime time.
Exactly, and both.
So if you want to be the first guy on your block with something to amaze your friends, you go to
Yeah.
the sharper image.
Yeah, I mean they had the coolest the coolest fucking stuff. You know, half the shit didn't work, but they had the coolest stuff. They had a couple of stores in the malls. They were really good. Now everything is dead and gone. Amazon has taken over, and I pretty much I love Amazon. Amazon I think is doing a fantastic job. They're doing great, and I think Amazon is killing everybody. Hey, speaking of Amazon. What
Yes,
do you
sir.
think of that space flight that we had with all the astro nuts?
Well, first of all,
Yes, sir. Yes,
you
sir.
know,
I'm all ears,
I
sir.
hate the fake news,
Yeah,
and everybody was fake news today
right,
on that because they referred to them as the 9 crew members. Okay,
right.
so
There
let's define a crew member. Okay,
yeah, let's
before we go any further,
bring him up.
right?
Let's bring him up.
You buy a ticket and you're on a 747
Yeah,
and you're sitting in first class. Are you part of the crew? No, the crew
yeah,
is in the fucking cockpit. Okay, so
yeah.
that flight was 100% automated.
Right.
They had nothing to do but watch their silicon boobs float around in zero G
Yeah.
for 11 seconds.
You know, there was a lot
They
of
were passengers. They were luggage.
there
They
was
were
a
not
lot
crew.
of there was a lot of plastic in that thing, man. In that
Yeah.
thing. And it was crazy. Here, let's bring this. Let's bring this.
Bingos in space. You know, and then some media reported that they orbited. They didn't orbit. They did. Their flight was shorter than Alan Shepard's. You know, the first Mercury flight. It was just up and down, literally up and down. That's all it was. It was like going on one of those parachute rides. You know, where you get towed up. You know.
It was unbelievable.
Then I heard Katy Perry talk about all the training she had to do for that flight. You know what training was? The training was, Katie, you may want to skip breakfast and lunch.
Right.
If you don't want to throw up.
There it is.
There you go.
There it is. Man. I mean,
Housewives.
it was I have never seen so much plastic all in one place at one time.
Yep.
And they all got, they got pissed off, you know. We, you know. Oh my God. Oh my God.
One of them actually kissed the ground when she got out of that.
No, a couple of them kissed the ground. I don't know why they were kissing the ground for. It was so. You know, this news is over and done with. I mean, there are thousands of YouTubers have made thousands of videos on this. We don't know if it's real or not. But one thing I did.
They went up. They went up for. You know, it's like somebody said. You know, Jeff Bezos' girlfriend or wife.
So hold on a second. I mean, I know I ain't no rocket scientist or anything like that. Did they go higher? Did they go up higher than the Himalayas?
Yeah.
Okay. Now my second thing is, if you're going that high, don't you need like an oxygen mask or a helmet or anything like that, sir?
No. If the spacecraft they were in was pressurized.
Okay.
Okay. When you go up in an airliner,
right.
If you don't have oxygen at 30,000 feet, you will pass out in 20 seconds.
Right.
Okay. But the cabin is pressurized.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pressurized. Airliners are typically pressurized to about 7,000, 8,000 feet.
Right.
So the aircraft is at 30,000 feet, and you feel like you're at 8,000 feet.
Right.
Which is why your ears pop when you land. Okay.
Pop,
so,
lock, drop,
but if the cabin gets depressurized, what pops out of the ceiling in an airliner?
Oxygen mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the first thing you do if you're ever in an airliner or any kind of airplane, and you got a problem with with pressurization. The first thing you do is put on the oxygen mask. Do not turn to your girlfriend and put on her mask first, because you will pass out before you have to put your mask on and then help other people. That's just the way it works. So
right. But still, I mean, you're going up in that shaft,
That phallic symbol, yeah.
Well, it is. It looks
Well,
like
why is it both Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk build spacecraft that look like dildos? They build rocket ships
I
that
don't
look
know.
like
Well,
dildos.
well, now hold on a second. I don't think Elon's
Oh
rocket
yeah.
looks like a dildo. But the Blue Origin actually looks like a dildo.
Well, I mean, you can have different shape. I mean, there's the
Well,
smooth.
I mean that looks like a shaft. That phallus. That looks like a dick.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm not kidding with you. It looks like a
No,
dick.
no, I know. I know.
All right, there's no ifs, ands,
It
or
looks top heavy. It is top heavy.
it's very top
And
heavy.
half the women on it were top heavy.
Exactly, but it was all plastic anyway.
Yeah, it's like they were all acting like it's the first time women went up in a rocket. No, there have been the Russians had a female astronaut up in 1960.
You have to understand you're catering to a very woke, shabanga dango.
Yeah.
So here now, a lot of people there have been, of course, the conspiracy theories going on over here is that the flight was fake fuckery.
There's no point. There's no point faking a short little flight like that. That's
Right.
like faking okay, I walked around the block.
Right.
You don't have to fake this.
Here's Jeffy opening the door, but look how easily that door opened.
Yeah, well, at least it opens in.
No, hold on. Check this out. So the door opened. They said, no, close the door. God damn it, close the door. See, the door opened. And then Jeffy said, no, I would like to open the door here. And then, yeah. So I don't know.
I don't blame him for that. I mean,
With an impact like that, don't you think that you would wear a helmet?
Well,
I
they
don't-
have been wearing helmets.
Nobody had any brains in there, and that's besides the point. But wouldn't you wear a helmet when you're traveling in a spaceship? If we can call
I
it.
would. Did they release any video inside the spaceship during the
No,
flight?
there's video of them frolicking and having fun, and there's a video of Jeffy's girl. Her high heels are on the window.
That's like you don't wear high heels when you get shot in the.
I mean, seriously. I mean, I don't know if I would call it a high heel, but it was. How do you say that? It was.
It wasn't a flat. It wasn't tennis shoes. It wasn't a running shoe.
No. It was one of those platform shoes. It was one of those platform shoes, like how do you say this? How do you say this? So I'm trying to find a video. Maybe this is the video. Here, check this out.
Hey, video creator.
Hello, Johnny, Mr. Morney. How are
You gotta learn how to use ad blockers, Mark.
Yeah, don't rub it in right now, bro. Please. I'm trying to get that. There's the Rivian. So that was that I think was a kick below the belt for Elon. Here we were driving a Rivian. We're not driving a Tesla.
Well, but they've had a relationship with
ringing
Rivian
the
for years. Yeah.
They're ringing the bell like they have conquered the. When you go to Arby's.
I was going to say Arby's, exactly. Hey, you had good service. Ring the bell.
If that meat was good, you ring the bell. You ring the bell if that meat was good.
Exactly.
So they are ringing the bell and they are getting in a dildo. So I don't know. So they're ringing the bell. I mean, she was even Gail rang the bell. Yes, I'm ringing the bell here. Hello. Look at that. Look at that head. Look at the head on that son of a bitch. Yeah. All right. So here we are.
You can see how serious that spacecraft
she's
is.
touching it. She's
they made it that shape with big windows.
Yeah,
just to shoot up tourists who only pay $250,000.
I'm not a spacecraft designer, but that I mean all those windows, man. I mean, Holy shit! Can you imagine the pressure that?
Well, that's just it. See, that's what you have
So
to.
here we go. Here we go. They're flying in the air. Look at that. They're upside down. She's showing butterflies. She's taking selfies. She's not even looking at the world. That's
Yeah. There you
look.
go. That
There-
sums it up. You were
Did you
shot
see
out
that?
of space. What did you do? I
Did
took
you
selfies. Did you look
did
out
you
the
see
window?
the
No.
shoes?
As soon as we taking selfies.
Did you see the shoes?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna rewind it. I'm gonna rewind that sucker, man. I'm gonna rewind that sucker right there. All right, we're coming back. We're coming back. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, did you see it now?
Yeah. She's actually got those fucking shoes with a hard sole and heel on the fucking window.
Yeah. I mean, that's dangerous, bro.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That is dangerous. I mean, that is dangerous.
No, what? Those are like 3-inch heels.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to that's what I'm trying to say. I mean,
No, I mean it's like how brain dead do you have to be?
that
I mean,
impact.
You
That
you
im-
should no
That
impact
right
that
there
was
is pretty hard.
no. The thing's got an airbag on it. That's what made the
Did you see that? Jeff fell. Did you see that?
yeah.
Here, look. Oh, he fell. Oh my God. I never saw this. We never saw this footage. There's Jeff. There's Jeff. Oh, boop, 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 right, boop. There he is. Come here, honey. Give me a hug. Oh, look at that. Oh, here comes Gail. Gail raised her hands. Hallelujah. Oh, she's bending. I mean, she's kneeling down. She's kissing the ground, or is she's doing push-ups? No, I can't tell. I didn't get this. This is so cringeworthy. She's kissing the mushroom. No, it's not a mushroom. It's that's her daughter. Mama, here I am. She goes, oh, look at that. She goes, yeah.
Yeah, and those are like the tightest. What are they wearing? Are they wearing scuba suits or what?
That's what I thought. I thought they were wearing scuba gear, but these are Arby's. That food was good. Oh God, I've said Arby's so many times. I'm hungry now. Inside edition. All right, so that was it. How do you like the setup, man? We finally finished a little bit of the studio here. Got a lot of work done over the week.
It's been different every time we've done a broadcast the last 6 months. So
I don't know if I can share this over here. I'm going to try to turn. So over here, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can take.
Boy, that's a wide lens.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you see all these pictures. They were in a crate. I finally took them out. These are all the autographed pictures of all the celebrities, that I encountered over the years. Mm-hmm. The best one is I got Jay Leno here. I got Conan O'Brien. I got Jason Statham over there. Man, I got Bob Odenkirk. I got Johnny Depp, Joe Perry, Alice Cooper, the Rolling Stones. I got Faith Hill, Megan Fox, and who do we have on this side? On this side, who do we have here? I got a bunch of autographed guitars and shit. So it's coming along. It's coming along. I don't know where it's coming along, but it's coming along.
Yeah, I only collected 3 autographs in my whole life: Chuck Yeager, Maynard Ferguson, and who's the famous composer? Henry Mancini. Henry Mancini.
Yeah. I've met a lot of I have a few. These were the some of the best ones that I like. I have over there I have Paul McCartney, and I have a Paul McCartney guitar right here. I have a Toby Keith guitar, but the Toby Keith autographed picture, I gave it to a buddy of mine. She was helping me, and she goes, "Mark, I really liked it." I said, "Buddy, you can have it." So I gave it to her. She goes, "Well, can I have it too?" I said, "Fuck no."
Yeah, I always make it a point, with those 3 exceptions, when I meet somebody famous, I try really hard not to. I just try and treat them like they're as anybody else.
Oh, I gotta tell you something.
I try hard not to fall all over them. You know.
Right. I gotta tell you. I used to do a lot of. Well, you know it. I mean, I used to do a lot of celebrity events and celebrity pictures, and so I used to do like, for example, the Comic Con, or the First Midwest Amphitheater, or the theater. I don't want to say the name. So basically, I would be on stage, green room, backstage when they're taking pictures with their fans
Right.
and stuff. I was the official concert photographer, because I was contracted under the venue, and whoever
Right.
came, all that shit had to go through me. So the first, when I started doing this in the beginning, Jesus Christ, why am I? Hold on, bro, hold on. Why am I on? Yeah, hold on. So when I first started doing this, I was like, oh my God, that is Richard Marx. Oh my God, that's the Pointer Sisters, or that's Patty
Yeah.
LaBelle, or that's whoever. I was really mesmerized with all that. But after, I tell you, after a few weeks, they
Yeah.
were just regular guys. They were the same
Yeah.
people going to the bathroom. I mean, we had a rocker that he had a very famous song, very, very famous song that came out in I don't want to say the name of the movie, because if I do, everybody will say, oh fuck yeah, that's the guy. And this guy used to fart. Okay. Oh my God. He was a big, big farter.
Okay.
This guy farted every chance he got. I don't know why. There was some God bless him. I mean he's still around. But he would fart. And I hated that shit. And there was a concert that he did over because I when I covered him for the first time, his band, and that's when I realized, because people would tell me, Mark, hey, you know what, don't get too close to him because this fucker farts a lot. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I said, modesty, man. I mean, he's a big fucking rock star. We all grew up listening to him and his songs, especially because he did a soundtrack for one of the most. He did a soundtrack for one of the most successful movies ever made in Hollywood.
Was this a comedy?
No, it was not a comedy. I'll tell you after. I will personally call you after the show, and I'll tell you the movie and who it was.
Yeah.
And then and we were in the green room one time, and some fans knocked, and of course groupies. Oh my God. Jesus, one day I'll write a book on this shit. That's where I realized and I saw firsthand what groupies, this term groupies, how this term group came into being, and what it entailed, and it's just crazy. So this guy, he's got both his hands around the fans taking pictures, and he just rips one out. And his entire crew acted like nothing happened. Now the fans, and I've got pictures, right? The fans were like, huh? What? And this guy, hey, the world goes on, right? And they moved on. And then you could smell that shit, man. It was crazy. Why am I talking about this?
I don't know, but it reminds me, over the years, I got to meet a lot of people in the music business.
Yeah.
And I always, my thing was, because I play trombone and I'm an amateur, if I see somebody playing, whether it's Maynard Ferguson or Buddy Rich or what, I was like, gosh, I wish I was on stage playing with them.
I hate you son of a bitch. You're wearing the Ray-Ban 50s, aren't you?
No, you son of a bitch. These are Randolph Engineering.
Randolph Engineering. Very good.
Randolph Engineering.
I like it.
I like it. And they're not gradient tint.
I gotta wear these glasses because I am sitting here in a dark room with two lights in my face. So
I only put these on to match.
Huh?
But anyway, let me tell you.
Yes, sir.
When I was a money market trader with Manufacturing Center Over Trust, I worked out of the LA office, and a friend of mine came out on a visit, company paid, from Chicago. We had a trading desk in Chicago, right? And so he came out. He stayed for about a week. He took some time off. So I threw him in a car, and we're driving up the highway, Interstate 5, up to Central Valley of California. And we're talking about stuff. And my friend was a big Huey Lewis and the News fan.
Right.
And so we get to San Francisco, and we cross the bridge.
San Francisco.
And we're in Sausalito, right?
Mhm.
And I had a real estate license. And back then, before the internet, it was like, if you go out of town and you're a real estate broker, you stop at a real estate office and common broker courtesy. Hey, can I have your old MLS book, multiple listing service book?
Right.
They used to print like these telephone books full of listings every week.
Right.
Imagine how much that cost. But so I see a real estate office in Sausalito. I pull into the parking lot. Hey, I'm just gonna jump in, get an MLS book, and I get the MLS book. And then I'm walking back to my car, and across the street I see a bar. And this bar looks familiar, okay? This was the bar that was on the cover of the Sports album, Huey Lewis and the News Sports. Mm-hmm. This was the bar that the band hung around in Sausalito, right?
Right.
Hey, Ted, look across the street. Holy shit, that's the bar on the cover of the Sports album. Yeah. So we went in the bar. Guess who was in the bar?
Oh,
the whole fucking band, just drinking. Because Sausalito is a pretty small town, but
damn.
But it was, that was like my.
Who was that one guy? Let me bring that up. He was a commentator. Something. He was a. Let me share this. Let's see if you can recognize.
Okay.
Let's say if you can recognize this guy here. All right, hold on a second. I gotta share this.
Okay.
So I gotta share screen. Who's this guy?
Well, that's you on the right.
Well, yeah, and I see I'm in a fucking suit.
Yeah.
I look like an undertaker.
Is that Harry Carey?
Is that who?
Harry Carey?
No, that's not Harry Carey. That is God damn it, I forgot the name of this guy. He was such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. By the way, I haven't worn a suit in like 7 years now.
I haven't worn a suit since I moved to Cody.
I threw away. I was doing my cleaning, and I threw away all my suits.
Yeah.
And I threw away by mistake. I threw away 5 because they went to dry cleaning, and when they sent back, they were in a hanger, but they had a plastic sleeve on it, right? So I didn't know what the fuck was inside. And it was my Robert Graham shirts.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and each shirt was like, just look it up. I mean, you'll see.
I'm familiar with the brand name.
Yeah, so yeah, I feel so bad.
I was much more into
feel so
and
bad
clothes when I was working for the bank. Yeah.
Damn. So I can't figure out who this guy is. That's crazy because I got a picture with the guy and I don't know who the fuck he is, but he's a very famous. He was at that time. He used to do a lot of narration. Bill Cunningham, Bill Forsyth, something like that.
Huh. Well, yeah. So if he did a lot of narration, you wouldn't expect to recognize him from his picture, right? You'd recognize him from his voice.
No. He had a program. He had he had a program, right? So
Local or nationwide?
no, national.
Oh,
You don't listen to who do you know? You know the Dells? Do you know
the,
Frankie Beverly?
the music group?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah,
You know Frankie Beverly, right?
it's been a while. It's been a long time, but yeah, I
It's
think I.
been a long time away. You know Thelma from Good Times?
Yeah,
All right. Let's see if you can recognize. God, I had hair at that time. Holy shit. I had hair. You can recognize her?
yeah.
That was circa 2008.
Of course, with those shades on, she could have been Patti LaBelle too. You know.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Watch what you say now. Because
I set you up.
I love my Miss Patty.
Yeah.
I love Miss Patty. I met her,
Uh-huh.
and I must say, what a wonderful, delightful, beautiful person Patty LaBelle is. You know, let me
Well,
see.
I've learned some famous people are nice and some famous people aren't. And
I've met some bad ones. I've met some bad sons of bitches.
like for the most part, famous jazz musicians are the coolest.
Yeah,
Famous rock and roll guys are the most standoffish, I think.
right. Now, the one the craziest thing is, Gladys Knight, right?
Yep,
So I did a concert with Gladys Knight and Bernie Mac. Remember Bernie Mac?
sure.
So this is here. Let me bring it in, right? So this is Gladys and Bernie,
Hmm.
and this was the last picture of Bernie Mac because from right after the concert they took him to the hospital
Oh,
and he passed away. Yeah.
yeah.
This was the last one. Damn, I feel bad.
Hey,
Trying to
let me show you something.
show me something, boys.
I picked this up a few months ago. Um, do you own a multi-tool or a
All I know
Swiss
is
Army knife? That kind of thing.
show me what you got, and if I like it, I'll just take it from you.
Well, this is something different.
Well,
There's a company called Roxon, Roxon,
okay, just
and
show it to me, brother.
they
Put it
make
on camera.
multi-tools. Calm down. And so,
Holy
see
shit, that is nice.
but this isn't the nice part. The nice part is that
What's the nice part?
all of these tools are removable and replaceable.
You're kidding me.
No, see, so you not only let me show you how to. Let me close it up so I don't cut myself.
How many do you have of those?
How many? I only have one.
Well,
But
you should put it in a bag.
just hang on. Let me show you how it works.
Don't show me shit, because you know how I am. If I like it, I'll. Oh, by the way,
So you got the tools, right?
right.
Let me see if I-
Right.
what am I doing here?
You know what? You know what else I need? That Mercedes behind you.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh man, that is super cool.
So all you do is you don't need any tools to take them out and replace them.
Right.
You just put it back in,
Oh wow.
flip the switch, and so you can pick and choose what tools you want. And if you see, because I've got Leatherman tools,
Yeah.
that I barely use because I'm always afraid of breaking a blade or dulling it or screwing
Right.
something up.
Right.
Well, with
Right.
this, those individual tools are between $5 and $8.
Mm.
So I'm actually using this thing. I take it with me everywhere, and because if you have one of these multi-tools, typically you're going to use it in some kind of not maybe emergency situation or something where, okay, I should have a real saw, but all I have is this, so let me cut through the log with this piece of crap, and you ruin the saw blade. And if that saw blade is part of a Swiss Army knife, you're fucked.
Right.
So there's a Korean family in Southern California. They came up with this concept. I said, give it a try.
I was at a concert. This is 2000.
2000.
2000. I'm trying to pinpoint the exact year because that was the same year the American Sniper movie came out.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking 2014.
All right.
So I'm at a concert. Oh man, what a concert! Holy shit! So anyway, one of the Grip Boys, the ones that have a carabiner on the side with a bunch of duct tape and tools and shit. So he had this one little tool with him, and I'm like, holy fuck! It was like silver and yellow, and it's really cool. It was a Leatherman, and I said, man, that is super cool, dude. Where did you get that? Because I got a fetish for shit like that. He goes, oh man, I just ordered it off I don't know, some website, because Amazon was really, Amazon was around, but it was not that big. I'm talking
Right.
14,
Oh, I remember those days.
Fuck. So anyway, I tracked the number down. The name of the company was a Leatherman tool, and that shit was like $160. I'm like, what the fuck from Leatherman? Because I think Leatherman only made at that. Now, hold on, don't laugh at me. Back in 2014, I always thought the Leatherman made those little pocket knives from you get at Walmart for $9.99.
Oh no!
But holy shit, they make some really good stuff, and it was like almost $200. So I got one of those, and
See, I got a Leatherman Wave. It's old enough to have a leather case.
Yeah. I'll show you. What I have.
And this is a Leatherman Wave.
Yeah.
I bought it 19 or about 1999.
Yeah. So
and I'm afraid to use it.
the other one I was again I was where was I was working on that TV show that I used to work on. Remember in Chicago?
Yes.
So one of the actors, I don't know if it was an actor, if it was an extra, or whoever the fuck it was. He was trying to open something, and he couldn't get it to open. So I said, "Here, I'll help you.
Right.
I'll help you." So I said, "Yeah, I'm trying." So he gave me his fucking multi-tool, right? So it's a Swiss Army shit. So I am sitting there jiggling with the thing, trying to, scrape it, squawk it, do something. And then he got the call to take the shot. He said, "But I gotta go," and he just left it. And he left the tool with me while I'm sitting there like a dork, trying to fix this thing. Yeah. And then I'm thinking, wait a minute, what the fuck am I doing? I'm the set photographer. I got to go do pictures. So I
went to the union sees you doing that shit.
Yeah, so doing that shit. Put it in my pocket because the guy's gone. I said I'll give it to him as soon as I see him on the set. But I guess he was on the other side of the compound, and he did his scene because I asked him, "Hey, where's this guy?" He said, "Oh, he's shooting over there. He's got 3 scenes. He's got to shoot 3 scenes. He's probably an extra. So I'd say maybe 20, 25 minutes. Because they're pretty fast. They don't want they don't want to pay too much money." I said, "All right, let me take the set pictures here, and then I'll walk over there." So I did the pictures over here. I walked over to the set, to the Studio B.
Yeah.
And I'm asking around. I said, "Hey, where's so and so?" And he left. Left where? He said, "Oh, he's done for the day. He's gone. His scenes are over." So he never took his thing back. So I ended up. I still have it. and it's a Swiss Army thing with a bunch of one of those fat motherfuckers with a bunch of knives and it's got a lot of tools on it.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, we'll do that. You know what I'm saying? Everything is good here.
This is the only Swiss Army knife I own.
Oh yeah. That's it. It's just like
Yeah,
that.
but that's from the old company.
Trust, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the company you worked for, yep.
Yep. My boss gave that to me my second day on the job. And my boss came up here to shoot deer last year.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. I was like, that was the only job I ever had that I didn't mind working for somebody else.
Yeah.
Just like you, I've been self-employed and self-unemployed 99% of my life.
Oh, I hear you, sir. The feeling is mutual. It's a mutual feeling of love and candor. So I may have one of the beautiful ladies, my dearest friends, may do a show with me tomorrow. What are you doing tomorrow, by the way?
It should be available if you want me.
All right, good. I gotta go meet somebody tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. And the other thing is I'm waiting for a couple of calls. And oh my God, why don't people just fucking call? I hate.
Pasta posted something a few minutes ago about that picture you put up. Was he a news guy from ABC?
He's not sure. He put a question mark on.
Yeah, well, maybe that triggers your memory or something.
I ain't triggering shit. It ain't triggering shit. But I love my WKRP hat. So I'm a Jewel Osco. This guy looks at my hat. I go, well, what is that? I said, oh, that's a radio station, WKRP. What is that, AM or FM? I said, no, it's an AM. They said, oh, man, that's cool. What kind of music they play? I said, oh, they play rock music. Oh, wow.
They got a DJ, Johnny Fever.
Dr. Johnny Fever, yeah. So, but he's a young guy. So this clueless fucking generation, these young guys, anybody born, I hate to say this, God, because you can't, people get offended, my son, my eldest son was born in 1994. And anybody born in the late 90s, they have no clue to the wonderful life that we grew up with, unbelievable.
Well, on my phones, what's the term I'm looking for? What not sound effect? What do you call it? What do you call the ringtone? Okay.
Ringtone.
Well, but if it's not for your phone, if it's a sound for something else, it's not a ringtone. It's
like notification bell.
Notification sound. Okay.
Yeah.
For texts, my notification sound is the typing of a IBM Selectric.
Yeah.
And then the paper gets pulled out of the platen. So it's
yeah.
So nobody under 40 recognizes that.
Yeah.
Right?
Speaking of that, let me send you a text right now so people can listen to that. There you go. I just sent it.
Well, which did you send it to the camera?
I don't fucking know which one I send it to. Yep, I hear it.
Yeah, and for my email,
right.
I have Morse code.
Morse code, yeah.
It actually spells out, "Hey asshole, you have email."
Yeah.
And of course, the only person that gets that one is Shot.
Yeah. No, I got it. Hey.
Yo.
I got it too. Because remember, me and Shot, we are ham operators.
Yeah.
We are.
But did you take a Morse code test? Because I used to have a novice license back in the day.
No. We took a Morse code test. We are licensed ham operators, man. I'm a hamster, bro. I'm a hamster. I'm a ham.
I had a novice license years ago, and I remember taking the 5 words a minute for a novice.
But I'm a hamster.
Yeah.
CQ.
I know what that. And I had more fun with a friend of mine. We grew up in the same neighborhood.
Right.
And so my friend's dad was a big ham operator, and so his son, my friend, joined a ham club in the San Fernando Valley in Southern California. And he befriended a doctor, a doctor, who happened to be single. And so when the doctor died,
single.
He left my friend $30,000.
Right.
Just for being his buddy at the ham club, right? So I was a freshman in college, and I had just finished. I audited a ROTC class. I wasn't an ROTC, but I took ground school from the Air Force, and my friend used some of that $30,000 to get a private pilot's license.
Ground control to Major Tom. Hello.
So my friend had about 45 hours. You needed 40 hours dual time to take your private pilot's test. Right. So we rented an airplane from Clay Lacy, and Clay Lacy Aviation is still out there in Burbank, California, or I'm sorry, Van Nuys. And Clay is the guy who put Hollywood into Learjets, by the way. Anyway, and so my friend was a big ham operator. So, I planned the flight. My friend flew down to Hawthorne and picked me up at Hawthorne Airport, and I flew left seat all the way up to Reno. But my friend was, we stopped at a couple places, but all the way my friend he brought his 2-meter walkie-talkie.
What?
And all he did, I was flying without a license, and he was on the ham. He was on his radio, and all it was.
You got an email. Hey, Carol.
Yeah, there you go. And then so we're flying along, and he's on his radio, and all I hear is CQ. This is, and I remember his call sign, WD6FDY.
Yeah.
And he says Air Mobile. And when he said Air Mobile,
you're never supposed to give out call signs on air like that, right?
Well, hello, FCC, come and get me. Anyway, so he but the minute he said Air Mobile, it's like the universe opened up.
Star Trek, yeah. Whoa,
whoa. Anyway, so the minute he said Air Mobile, every ham operator on the frequency wanted to make contact with him because they were. Do they still do this? Do you guys still exchange postcards?
Yeah, we do. Of course, we do.
Yeah, so everybody wanted a postcard that said Air Mobile.
I haven't really been on my ham radio in about a year and a half. A very good friend of mine got me into it, and I always loved the shortwave radios, and here's something.
Now it's all repeaters and crap like that.
Yeah.
It's like years ago, after I moved here, the state of Wyoming.
After you moved here, boys.
The state of Wyoming switched over to they call it WyoNet.
Wyo.
It's a trunked, radio network, and so a Cody cop on 2 meters, on 151 megahertz or whatever.
Right.
He can pick up his walkie-talkie and talk to a cop in Cheyenne, 400 miles away.
Hey, speaking of
all trunked and
Cheyenne, what do you think? Which one do you think I should wear today? Because I'm trying to. Which one do you think?
Well, okay. So back off a little bit.
Backing off. There you go.
Well, they're both pretty close.
Should I wear Arabic numerals? Should I wear the one with the oyster? Or
what do they call? What do they call the other bracelet?
I don't know. One is the oyster. One is Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Yeah, very good. I think I'm going to wear the one with the Arabic numerals. This one right here. I love it. Oh, love it. Because I love me my turquoise. Man, I'm hungry, man. So yesterday I drove to my favorite Mexican restaurant.
Hey, do you know who is this? Carol Marie?
Yeah, she's a friend of ours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
So
I
you
I
went to
drove,
a Mexican restaurant?
I drove all the way to my favorite Mexican restaurante, and I had my favorite Mexican dish called steak a la mexicana.
Okay.
And let me tell you, sir, it is by far absolutely delicious. Delicious. Sauteed, marinated. It's got a little king, like a little ting and a fizz to it. You know,
Hmm.
they bring it to you in a sizzly platter,
Yeah.
and then on top of that, hey, look at that. That looks nice. Where'd it go?
Uh,
Where'd it go? Yeah, that looks nice. So this is
yeah.
it. That's my watch for the day.
And, talking about ethnic food, sometimes it's kind of funny because, like, you have like when you have authentic Mexican food, or for that matter, authentic Polish food or Russian food or whatever.
Right,
You go, yeah, I'll make that at home, right?
right.
And what you forget is that when you say is sautéed and marinated,
Yes, sir.
like back in Southern California, a guy opened up this restaurant and he turned it into a local chain
Mhm.
Peruvian restaurant, right?
Peruvian restaurant.
And they grill chicken
Right.
like 6 hours over an open wood flame, but the chicken is marinated
Oh
in
man,
citrus.
I'm done with chicken, bro.
Right,
I,
but
don't-
the chicken is marinated in citrus.
my
Oh,
God.
and it tastes great. But the reason why do Peruvians marinate their chicken they
Reason
marinate everything in citrus? You know why?
why?
Because they feed their livestock fish meal.
Oh,
So if you're feeding fish meal to a chicken,
right.
it's going to taste like fish. So you got to marinate it in orange juice or lemon juice, whatever.
Mm,
And it's like when you have Mexican dishes or some Polish dishes, it's like, okay, this is like peasant food, right? And
peasant.
so it's made with the cheaper cuts of beef,
Cheaper
right?
cuts of beef.
And then when you try
Right.
and reproduce it, and
Right.
I'm going to make this with prime steak. It doesn't taste the same because
Yeah.
it's you're not doing it right. So,
Right.
but that was like well, the only Mexican food we have in Cody is in a restaurant that's owned by Mexicans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and before it opened, it was like remember tourists asked me, "Where's a good place to eat?" And I said, "And when you came up to Cody, did you come up to that T intersection where the airport is?" Yeah. I said, "You go south on Highway 120 for about 150 miles, then you turn left, and then you get on I-90 and you go into Nevada and you go south and you get to Southern California. You turn off the 405 freeway. You go to Main Street in El Segundo. Great Mexican restaurant."
I can't eat. I listen. I'm a Mexican food connoisseur.
Mhm.
My Mexican friends, bless their heart, they call me sometimes and ask me, "Hey, Mark, where's a good Mexican place to go in that area?" And I'll tell them exactly where it is. But a lot of the places that we have over here, and I'm not going to say what town, okay, they are Mexican food. Yes, they are. They are good. And, you know, but the farther, like, if you want to eat good Mexican food, you got to go in the Mexican community.
Yeah, and it's just kind of strange to me because I spent 42 years in Southern California, and you're about to tell me where the good Mexican community, the authentic Mexican community, is in Chicago, and I'm like rolling my eyes.
Yeah, exactly. So I go to South Chicago Heights, and they have a restaurant there that's been there since the dawn of mankind.
Yeah,
And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Can I tell you something?
tell me something.
I'm going to tell you something.
I'm waiting
The
for it.
best Mexican food you can get.
Yeah,
I mean, every bite. My God, my mouth is watering right now as I'm talking about that food.
yeah.
They,
Mexican food and Mexican automotive upholstery. You can't get any better.
beautiful, beautiful people. Beautiful food, beautiful culture. I love Mexico. I wish I can speak Spanish. I'm trying to learn to speak Spanish. I'm not getting there. So anyway, so it's a big platter. It's a big plate. Oh my God, it's worth the money. Okay, so it's a really big plate. It's a big oval plate. They have rice. They have beans. They have cheese. They have sour cream. They have a little bit of salad. Or you can tell them you don't need the salad. They have jalapeno in the thing. They have tomatoes, onions, and they have like they get like a big steak, right? And they cut
Mhm.
it up. They cut it up into small chunks of steak and they leave it there, right? And it is that, I mean, that food, oh my God, I'm getting, yeah, my mouth is getting wet. Very well marinated. So what I do is I mix everything up, mumbo jumbo, I mixed what do you call that? The shit. I think I'm gonna go and eat there tomorrow. I'm Thursday. I'm hungry. So I mix up the meat and the beans and the rice and everything together, right?
Yeah.
You know, and then I get my tortilla flour. I like flour. I don't like
Mhm.
corn. I like flour. Get
Yeah.
that, put the thing in there, and then you roll it up and you eat it, and it is so good. They give you about 5 or 6 tortillas to go with it, and after it's done, you get your fork and you just eat it. Oh my God, delicioso.
Yeah. Yeah.
Melo, melo, caramello.
Yeah.
Bien.
Hey, so what do you think of this? Now it's been around for years and years and years, but well, it's funny because back in the day, back when I was a kid in Chicago, I used to go. My dad used to take me to this hot dog truck. It was parked on this edge of a Phillips 66 station in Irving Park,
Right.
and then probably in California, Southern California, probably about 30 years ago, there was this new thing, food trucks.
Oh yeah.
Because they had catering trucks, or
Right.
guys would but the catering trucks they had ice and they had like pre-made sandwiches and stuff,
Right.
and the drivers would go around to different companies when when the businesses went on their lunch breaks.
Yeah.
But then somebody started cooking on trucks, and that became the food truck
That's the
thing.
thing. I miss Chi-Chi's. Yeah. I miss Chi-Chi's too. They don't have Chi-Chi's anymore. The
Was
closest you
that,
can get it's a Mexican restaurant. Yeah,
what was it? One or was it a chain?
I think it was a chain. Uh, Let me tell you something. One day I was sitting outside the studio on State Street in Chicago, right across from the Chicago Theater.
Okay.
And usually in the alley, and I'm talking way, way, way back, way back. I'm talking at least 15, 16 years ago. Uh, there used to be a little food truck that used to come there with the best tacos. I mean, best steak tacos, burritos, And I thought, God, one day I will own a food truck. And that's what I wanted to do. I
Yeah.
wanted to own a fucking food truck. Uh, But it is so dangerous in Chicago. Well, I'm talking 16 years ago. Okay. The
Yeah.
day I decided that I wanted to me and a couple of my friends, we wanted to get a food truck. Two of the food truck people got shot
Yeah.
in Chicago. So there goes my dream right out the window. I said,
You
nah,
know,
fuck
you know,
that.
it's a good business to be in, and I know a guy in Southern California who does this. Uh, Not the catering truck, not the food truck, but you have the wholesale business that sells the catering truck and the food trucks their supplies
Yeah.
and gives them a place to park. So my friend's business is a food warehouse
Mhm.
and a big parking lot with 30 amp or 60 amp hookups, like a trailer park.
Right.
Because if you have a food truck, most cities will not let you park it in your driveway. most cities will not let you park in the front of your house. So you need a place to park it. So my friend has a business catering. He calls it a catering service. But the food truck owners, they lease spots with power at his lot, and they also have they can also dump their gray tanks, whatever there, like RV hookups. And he has a wholesale food business, so they buy their bread and their supplies and their meat. So it's all one place. So they get up in the morning, and they go to the catering service business. They buy whatever they need to fill up their food trucks for that day, and then they go and disconnect from the umbilical cord, and then they go out on their route, and they come back and they park the truck there at night and do it all over. That's the business to be in,
right?
Because you're selling to all the catering truck or food truck.
Hello, caramello. Yeah, one day when I retire. Right now, I'm retarded. When I retire. When I retire, what am I going to do? I think I'm going to get a camper.
You're gonna keep doing what you're doing now, because if you stop, you're gonna die.
No. Here's what I want to do. I want to get a camper. I want to turn the back end of the camper into a podcast station, right? And then I want to travel America doing podcasts.
That's what I mean. You're still going to be doing something, though.
Yeah. I'm still going to be.
If you didn't do the podcasting, you'd just shrivel up and die.
Yeah. Right now, I just love what I'm doing.
But the thing is,
I'm a fucking.
okay, I mean, are you still thinking about doing something like a Ford Transit, 4x4?
No. I think I'm going. No, I'm not going to. I'm not even going to discuss that with you, because you're going to be cursing me out. I'm just going to shut the fuck up.
No. I know we were talking about the cheap ass white box RVs, but
yeah.
But my point is,
yeah.
With the 4x4, that's a really cool concept, And back in 2005, I bought a brand new Ford F-250 4x4 Power Stroke diesel, because I was moving up here, So, so I went around exploring, man. I drove every road, every paved road, and every.
Nah. I'm not an explorer. I'm not going to be in the middle
but you have to let me make my point.
Yes, sir. Making your point.
So I'm driving all over the place, right? Because I just want to see everything, right?
Yes, sir.
And so I find this gravel road, this dirt road, off of Highway 120, and I take it. And this is on a Saturday afternoon, and I had my brand new Garmin GPS hooked up to my brand new laptop, so I could see. And I was 100 miles away from Highway 120. I was in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming.
Oh, fuck!
In the mountains, with no cell signal. Okay. Had I broken down, I would have been in deep trouble.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So my point is, when you buy a 4x4, you always want to get the Jeep Rubicon, because that's the best one with the locking front and rear diffs. When you get the 4x4 camper, you're thinking about, I'm going to take it off road here and off. And I'm telling you, only idiots go off-roading by themselves.
Yeah.
Because what you always want to do, and I don't care if you're on a side-by-side or a 4x4, you always want somebody else with you in another vehicle, at least two of you, preferably three people or three groups of people in three different trucks. Because if you break down and you're 100 miles away from the nearest paved road and you don't have a cell signal, that's the other thing. Off-roading without a satellite phone is idiocy too, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, now they have a lot of Garmin's got that little satellite two-way device.
Yeah.
Starlink now has a Starlink Mini, which a lot of my friends they use that.
Yeah, but you need something like that besides a cell phone.
Yeah, and then there's also a device. It's like a satellite phone, which connects to your Starlink. So now you have a satellite phone, and I mean, my God, this fucking I used Starlink, so I'm telling you, this thing is fucking believable.
Yeah, a good friend of mine out here has it, and he uses it all the time. He tells me it works great.
Yeah, we were about 160 miles south by Carbondale, Champaign, Urbana, whatever the fuck, even further down than that. And T-Mobile, huh, man, there ain't no goddamn T-Mobile down there. There ain't no we're in the middle of fucking nowhere. Cornfields, man, cornfields with you can't even see the highways because the fucking corn is so high. You don't even know where
Well,
the fuck you're at.
well,
Okay.
when you come out here, it's the same thing. So when you're out of town in
Right.
Wyoming, you are out of town.
Right.
When you're out of town in Southern California, like
Yeah.
when you leave Hawthorne, California, you're in Gardena, and the only reason you know you're in Gardena is because the sign says now leaving Hawthorne, now entering Gardena. Out
Yeah.
here, we have miles between towns.
Right.
Miles and miles. I've driven 300 miles in Wyoming without seeing a human being.
Oh shit. Unbelievable. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fucking crazy. So anyway, so when we were over there, I'm like, fuck, my buddy, he had a 5G phone that wasn't working. No, that was working, but very faint, very barely. You couldn't send a text. I mean,
Well, sure, because cell phones are designed to be short range
yeah. So
because you can't have them. The signal can't be too strong
right.
because you have to go from cell to cell.
Right. So we're shooting we're shooting something over there. And now the client is like, well, can we upload it to our site? And we're looking at him like,
Not here.
upload it.
Yeah.
I said, well, what are you, crazy? So we can't even get cell signal. So here comes my buddy. Oh man, we can do that. There's always one in the group, hold
Yeah.
my beer. I got this. Hey, listen, he goes, Mark, you think I should fire up my Starlink? I said, man, if you want to fire up your Starlink, I think today's the best day as any, because today will be a true test of your goddamn Starlink. Today is the day, man. So he brings it. He has a big one, so he brings it out, plops it on the top of his RV, hooks everything up. He's got the Jackery 1000. He's got. I'm back. It does need a lot of power. Larry, you ain't gonna believe this. That signal was so strong. We uploaded, I think it was a 15-minute 4K video in like 10 minutes.
It's pretty good.
That's how fast it was. And
That's
I'm talking raw 4K video file.
Yeah.
I mean, you try uploading that to YouTube, you better go order yourself some meal, relax, chill, maybe have a cup of coffee, and maybe come back in an hour and a half.
And hope the power doesn't blip out for half a second in between.
We're in the middle of the nowhere. Anyway, listen, it's been 2 hours and 2 minutes. I got to make a trip back home because I'm still in Chicago, Chi-Town. So let's call it a day. I will give you a call later, and we will set up something for tomorrow. And I got to confirm with the girls also because she has some work to do.
All right.
All right, big brother.
You got it.
All right, sir. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We had a great audience over here. Not much participazione, but I will catch you all later. Thank you and bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.